Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to Party Panda Pirates. A little bit of a mouthful. This is by Draco Studios and Detestable Games, who made other such fun games as Dodos Riding Dinosaurs, War for Chicken Island, and Kiwi Chowdown, the Avian Trilogy. So this is a party game, though. It's like some other ones are kind of like racing or control area or like a battle type game. This is a full-on just party game. So what it does is it utilizes a little board you'll kind of launch out. You'll select a different party card. It has 24 in the box. There are some promos we'll go over later in the video as well. But then each one has its own different stuff. And it can be anything from just tiny little mini games. So kind of like Mario Party-esque type things. But we could be stacking things. We could be throwing little coins. We could be a bluffing game. We could be a trick kind of like memory type game. There's a bunch of different stuff. So it's for 2 to 6 players, so obviously being a party game, there's no solo mode. And why would you want a solo mode in a party game? That's the whole point. There are, just a heads up, there are some of the games in here that are, they require 3 players, and there are some that actually only use up to 5, so only 5 people can play. So if you get them, you might just have to skip them. It's not a lot of them, it is a few of them. It says 8+ age and 40 minutes. You're going to need someone who knows how to kind of read and understand. Some of the games you can kind of infer by looking at the little cards, but then they have a rule book that explains it a little bit more. What we have is, instead of having all our avians, now we have a bunch of bears or panda-esque characters that we get to play as. So let's kind of look through the components for it. So we're going to have a rule book here to explain the basic rules on how to play the game and set everything up. It's going to show all of our different contents we'll look at. Set up for our board, big giant panda island board. You have a turtle launcher in the middle. Treasure tracker there to keep track of things, and everyone gets their different cards set up. Each player gets their own set of cards. 2 coins, 3 party cards, 2 panda, pirate meeples, 5 dice, and a prediction counter. All of the same color. So red dice, red meeples, red counter. Coins obviously be a different color. And then you're going to go through and do some other stuff. We'll hop into that in a minute. The basic phase is navigation, figure out what everyone's doing. Predict who's going to win or lose the game based on what mini game you might be playing. And then you're going to do the party, pick your party, play your actual party game then, and then you do the treasure hunt to find out who gets what coins. And then the end of the game is after 6 rounds. So you're going to play 6 total cards worth of players. So if there's you'll have to go them all. There's some alternate modes you can play as well. So I'm going to hop in and look at some of the components, though, before we get too much into the rules. Easier to understand once we can kind of see what some of the stuff are. So we have the basic board here, which is the Avian Trilogy Islands. So that's really fun. So we have, up here, we have the War for Chicken Island. You kind of see it has some of the hexes on there. There's some of the chickens and the little things that you build. There is our new captain. His name I can't remember. He came in one of the promo packs. We have Cthulhu there. We have a big giant kiwi there. So here's the Kiwi Island. They have all the different multiple colors because the island's built up there. The desert, the forests, all that. You can see one of the little huts up there. And then we have the Dodo Riding Dinosaur stuff, which have a little El Dorado in there. And the little dinosaurs all over the place. That's really fun that they added that in there. The alternate side of the board, which adds 6 other maps. And these are based off other games they have created or are going to create. I, unfortunately, don't have the direct list of all their games right off the top of my head, so I don't remember what they all are. But yeah, there's an ice-themed one, there's a horror-themed one, an arena, there's a pancake, waffle, like sweets one, there's a rocket ship one, and then there's like a futuristic one. Also, one thing to note that is different on this being a little bit harder, besides being different islands, because how you're going to pick your game is you'll have party cards set next to each island, and you'll actually try and launch a token into the circle to decide which party games you might be playing. So all 3 of these are very equal. That's the idea of it. This one, however, besides giving you more, they have different things. This pink one has a big giant circle, a little bit tinier, but not quite in the center. This one's very tiny, but he's up at the top. Medium size and medium size, but in different kind of locations. So it's just going to set up a little bit of different difficulty for you. Then we have the Pirate Hat board to keep track of your getting points or not. So at the end of each game, if you win, you're first, second, or third place, fourth, fifth, or sixth, it'll tell you what you do. You get to roll one die, plus get so many coins, or die or coin, and then you'll move along the board trying to get treasures. And we'll kind of look at that. The other side's the exact same. What they did was they also made it fun so it fits onto the top of the panda and gives them a panda hat. We'll flip to this side for right now. The other big thing we have, actually big, is we have the turtle ship. This is one of the neat things. It's got a little meeple launcher. So you drop meeples in there, it's going to shoot them out. So this is where you're going to try and launch them to shoot them onto there. You're allowed to move it anywhere inside this big circle. Why does it have other rings then? Because other things play parts in the game as well. This actually has some different parts in there throughout the game as well, which is really fun. They added everything has an element to be played in the game. So that is there. Alright, what do we have up next? We have a alternate rules card, so if you want to know what you can do for these different alternate islands, you can gain some bonuses, as well as alternate captains. If you want to have specific captains. We have all of our party cards. We could have various fun little pictures on the front, showing kind of what's going on. And on the back side, it'll actually tell you how to play each one. Give you a brief description, so name, what number it is, who should be winning if you're voting on who's winning or who's losing, so in the prediction phase. A little QR code that you can scan to actually see a video for it. What you actually need for each one, like this one, you need the map deck and one meeple per player. Some of them you just need coins, some you need dice. And then a brief description on how to play, how to win, how many players, and what type of game it is, like tactical movement, speed stacking, speed, tongue twister, shooting game. So yeah, some various different ones there. A press your luck game. Then we also have this little booklet, navigation log. So this is detailing games 1 through 24. It's in the core set. So if we jump into the first one, it's going to give you a better setup on what you have to be doing. So it's actually going to, instead of just showing the picture, it's going to kind of describe how to play it. So as you've played them a couple of times, you just be able to look at your cards and know kind of what you're doing. But the first couple of times, you might need to jump in and look at some of the rule books to see exactly what they mean for you to be doing. I think lots of them feel self-explanatory, but it doesn't hurt to have extra little pictures and information on them, which is really cool. I'm glad they added that, and it's not something you have to go download. We have our pirate captains, so we have a bunch of them, and on the back they have how to play the game. We have a bunch of maps, so there's 8 for each different color, so a panda, pirate hat, starfish, treasure chest, pufferfish, and clam. And on the other side, they're going to have various little symbols. And these are going to be played in certain games. Sometimes they're just going to be using the cards as holders for the game. Sometimes they'll have you doing something different with them. Sometimes they'll have you matching symbols. You can see I have all the different symbols on the back. And are they all the same? Absolutely not. So this is card number 1 for the green, and this is card number 1 for the pufferfish, so they have very different stuff on them. So they are not all the exact same cards either. And these aren't necessarily player 1 gets this stack, player 2 gets this stack. So they kind of get doled out there. Now we come to the a little bit tricky part of the game. We're starting to get into the actual components. And the issue is that I have the upgraded version of the game, so I have upgraded components. But we do get our meeples, so we'll take a look at them. Just little panda meeples, 2 for each color. So you can set them on here if you like. How they launch out is you drop them in there, and they kind of slide out, so they don't shoot across the thing. But if you're trying to hit this island up here, kind of have to aim that. Ooh, he launched out too far, so maybe I need to pull him back. Maybe I need to... There, I got that one. If someone's like, I need to knock them off, they might do that. So various things are going to happen with that. There's also some stacking games. Well, it's stacking guys on top of each other, so you can kind of see how they do that. So very cool. Alright, so the rest of the components I have are upgraded. So in the actual game, so we're going to pop into the instruction book here, we are going to get 20 chest tokens, 56 coins, so 23 coins and 36 small 1 silver coins, a captain's marker, all made of cardboard, and we're also going to get some cardboard prediction markers and just some regular like colored dice. So that's what you're going to get normally, but I again got the upgraded version, so I'm going to get some additional components. So we have this little sheet here. So I get captain miniatures, metal coins, wooden and acrylic tokens instead. So you'll just have an idea of what we're going to have. But we will have a captain's hat. This is just a first player marker. There might be stuff that references that. It's just kind of neat. We'll just set that up there. I'm going to scooch these back. We are going to get our treasure chests. So again, we get big old wooden meeples. And I like these. Are they ever required? Like all upgraded components, they're never required. But they are fun to have, especially versus cardboard. I like thicker meeples, or wooden tokens, or acrylic tokens, because they're easier to pick up. Plus, you don't have to worry about them being damaged, ever. Like, people picking them up, or if you have, especially if this is a kids or a party game, you don't have to worry about them, like, someone spilling something on the table and it ruining that, although it would probably ruin the board and all the cards. So that wouldn't be good anyhow, but, you know, it's always just nice to have a little bit more tactile things. So you all our treasure chests. I'm going to scooch these guys off a little bit more. We have some big old massive plastic acrylic tokens. Plastic. These are, I don't know what these are. I think they're just heavy plastic. So this will be your prediction token, one for each color. So you just pick at the beginning of the game if you want the plus side, if you think someone's going to win or someone's going to lose. So if, like, I'm playing 3 players, I'm the blue player, I'm going to hand this to the red player. I think you're going to win this round, and he might hand me back the one that says, well, I think you're going to lose. And it's kind of just predictions on there. So we get those big old guys there, which are nice. Then we get some metal coins. Take a look at these. So we have the 1 coins. These are actual metal. So a little 1 panda hand on the one side. And a little, whoops, I'm dropping them. Raccoon panda on the other side for the 1 coins. You'll get a bunch of those. And then we'll have the bigger coins. And then some of these are used in various different ways. They're used for keeping track of scoring the game, but they're also using some of the games as well. So you have a 3 for a gold. And we have a panda on the back. Now, I do wish I wish I included the regular one so I could compare them, but I get why they didn't. We also have a timer. Sand timer, so there'll be some games that might have timers. Now, not most of them don't. So it's not a thing of like, oh, every game you throw the timer down and you have, a minute or 30 seconds or whatever to play the game. Most of them don't have a timer. There are a few that do. So if you really don't like timer stuff, you can always skip that. Then we have dice. And so with these are just regular 6-sided dice. So if you have your own set of 6-sided dice you really like, you can always swap them out for fancier dice. But here we just get some pearlized ones. So we have the white one, purple ones, yellow ones. We have the red and black. And then we have the green ones. But yeah, those are definitely cool. Just a little nice upgrade versus just having your standard colored dice. So they just would have been like the blue and white, or the colored and white pips. We get some fun, neat, different ones as well. Also looks like these would have been kind of like hexes or squares, or kind of like hexy shapes instead of big circles. So it looks like we got a little bit nicer upgrade on those as well. Very cool. That is what we have. The last thing we have is, again, very not used. much in the game is we have miniatures for each one of the captains. So we'll look at those a little bit more, look at the captain cards. I don't even think these are actually used in any of the games, but you could represent them if you had like if you're playing a game like a race, or you have one meeple you need to move around somewhere. You could use your captain instead. So definitely cool. All right, let's take a look at the rule book then. All right, sailing the Avian Archipelago, the turtle ship manned by Panda Pirates travels in search of parties. More festive crew of the seas participate in challenges of all kinds that will bring you favorable, unforgettable memories and friends. In this base game, you'll test your wits, dexterity, memory, and luck. With expansions, you'll be able to push your luck, bluff, place tiles, and draw and introduce more minigame mechanics. So it's kind of a fun thing because they can always just introduce booster packs if they want. There is a second set coming out, which is going to have some more stuff as well. So here's our setup, basically. Place the seaboard on the table, the turtle ship treasure map above it. So put the turtle ship there, put the treasure map there, shuffle the Panda Party cards, and the map separately to form their respective decks. Place the 2 decks, and the chest tokens, and the coins in the center next to them. So, shuffle, play your piles there. So for step 3, give each player 3 party cards, 2 Panda card, all that stuff we looked at those before. Turn unused dice, Panda Pirate, meeples, and prediction tokens in the box. We do have 5 dice, and they say to only give out 2 for each player. So you're just going to kind of stick them in the box. You might need them for specific games, but most of the time you won't. So place 1 treasure map on the board. Place 1 treasure token on space 1. Place 1 treasure token on space 2. The Panda Pirates form on space 5. So, I threw my board way the heck over there. So we're going to put our 1 treasure chest on 1, 1 on 2, and we're going to start down in 5. So everyone has to move from 5 to 4, to 3 to 2 to then to 1. So you're trying to move around the board by rolling dice by winning games to try and collect all the treasure chests. Player most recently in a kids party will be the captain. Starting player, giving them the captain's marker. The starting captain and proceeding clockwise, each player chooses 1 party card from their hand and places it next to an island on the seaboard. Continue until there are 6 cards next to the seaboard. With each island having an equal amount of cards. So if you're playing 2 players, you'll each have 3 cards. That'll be 6 cards. If you're playing 6 players, you'll each only get to put down 1 card instead of 2. If you're playing 4 or 5, you're going to have an uneven amount, but that's fine because you don't own the card. It's just giving you different options. Turn all remaining party cards from their hand, if any, to the party deck because you won't use them. For your first games, use party cards 1 through 6. Thereafter, remove all party cards whose suggested players doesn't match the number of player counts. So Janice said some might require you to have 3, or you might only be able to play 5 players, so just remove them so it's not an issue. Let's say 1 through 6, probably the easiest ones to play. How to actually play. Start the captain proceeding clockwise. Each player uses a turtle ship to launch available Panda Pirates towards center of any island that has at least 1 Panda card. You may launch your Panda to an island where there's already another Panda Pirate. Once every player has launched their Panda, give 1 coin to each player whose Panda is touching the center of an island, a little circle we showed earlier. Captain chooses a party card or the island or islands in the case of a tie that has the most Panda Pirates on it. So everyone kind of gets an idea. They might be able to see the top. You'll be able to see what the top card is. And you can kind of be like, oh, okay, I want to go towards that one. So, everyone kind of gets an option on which one they want to go towards. But if there's a tie, then you have captain to choose. Each player chooses their pirates from the board. When launching, they move the ship within the largest circle, as long as it doesn't leave it and touch any islands. Split over 6 rounds, dividing into 4 pages. We went through page 1. Base 2 is pirate prediction. Check whether the party card requires a player to predict who will finish first or who will finish last. Start at the captain, proceed clockwise, and hang with prediction tokens. Use the appropriate side of your token to place it in front of them. Just hang out your tokens plus or minus. Phase 3 is a party. Check the minigame rules and set up in the navigation log, or use an internet-enabled device to scan the QR code and watch the instructional video. Play the minigame. Remember that at this party you are all great Panda Pirates. Ones that overcome doubts could care less about the nitty-gritty. So it's kind of saying don't get too fiddly on the rules. You're supposed to be having fun. So if somebody's like, oh no, that thing, that bounced that way, you're gonna have fun, quit being a rule guy, you know. According to your final place in the minigame, available to your panel on the board. Note minigames should player elimination, place the pirates on their respective things. So when you finish the game, you'll play your pirates on the board if you got first, second, third, so on. If it's an elimination game, so if there's only 3 players, as soon as you get eliminated, you put yours on 3 and then 2 and so forth. Each player pays out their prediction token. Each player whose pirate was correct gains a coin. Return the party card to the box and won't be used for the rest of the game. Treasure Hunt. In the position track order from first to last, each player receives their bonuses. You can either gain a coin or you may roll a die. Follow the arrows and move your panic to number spaces where treasure is equal to what you rolled. When moving, you must skip spaces occupied by the pirates. Otherwise, if you reach or pass a chest space containing a chest, take it and place a new chest in the next higher number that is in the next empty space. So if you get the 2 token, you'll place one on the 3. So you get the 3, then it'll go back to 4. So that way, basically, the later people have a chance to kind of catch up a little bit. Use space 1 after space 5. If you end your movement on a red arrow, roll a die. On 1 or 2, you lose 1 coin. On a 3 or higher, nothing happens. If you move on a black arrow, or a number space without a chest token, gain a coin. So you want every other space is a black one, so you want to kind of land on every other space if you can. Not necessarily, there's a couple of big black ones down there. Each player must exchange 7 coins for a chest token as many times as they can afford. Pass the captain marker to the next player. The captain will be available next round, and then you can hit your turn. So your goal is to try and hit the treasure chest or to gain 7 coins. And you can gain 7 coins by predicting right, by landing on certain spaces. Or I'm sure there might be other available ways during the mini games. End of the 6th round, you see who wins. Case of a tie, the most coins wins. If the tie persists, the player the earlier turn wins. And then there's alternates. During the setup, flip over the seaboard, place a reference card nearby on the navigation page. A player whose panic touches the center round gets indicated rewards. Instead of just getting a coin, you get a special reward. And then player powers. During each setup, deal 1 random card. Captain power set, place a reference card in it. Once per game, you can flip your captain over to activate its ability. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop in and look at the all the different party games. Alright, so before we hop into the actual mini games, I want to take a look at the different pirate captains. And what their abilities and stuff are, the miniatures and all that. Again, if you don't have the deluxe version, you won't have these miniatures. You will still have the cards, though. I also went and looked up the boxes, a different size box. It's a little bit smaller for that. So it says just your phases, navigation, prediction, party, treasure hunt. So we have our different pirate captains, who are each based on various different things, which is really fun. Various pirates of lore. So we have Captain James T. Cock, or TikTok, who's based on pirate, the Captain Hook from Peter Pan. So he has moved up to 3 extra spaces on the treasure map, so he can have a little extra navigation in there. Here's his miniature. So he's riding his crocodile. Got his clock and his little rapier. So it's really neat, those. I really hope that these are really in the style of the rest of the Avian Trilogy games. So I hope they kind of eventually at some point make more promos for them. So you could use each one of these characters in one of those other games. It'd be fun to have them like in the Dino or the Kiwi game as like a leader. For our white color, we have Captain Raccoon D. Fluffy, who is obviously Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. So he's got like the stretchy arms, like the big cross across his neck, plus of course his straw hat. Our third captain is in yellow. We have Captain Sarah Luck, who is Miss Fortune from League of Legends video game. I did not even read what Luffy did here. It says, when landing on the center of any island, gain 1 chest. So he gets a chest instead of just a coin. But again, these are 1 per time abilities. So not being used constantly. Move to the first place on the position track. Push the other players down the track. And I read in a comment someone was reviewing the game, they said these powers are out of control or overpowered. Oh, it's just banana guns. And they would be if you were using them every time you wanted to, or once per, game round or whatever. Then yeah, they're definitely overpowered. But if you look at the fact that you can only use these once per the entire time you're playing all 6 rounds, they're not actually that bad. We have Captain Munch, which is of course Captain Crunch. Exchange 2 players' positions on the treasure map. So here he is in blue. He's surfing on a spoon. I find that's right. He's a little bomb on his hat. I like that they're all different animals, right? And they're not just straight up pandas. Like this is a red panda. Each one's a little bit different to one. My favorite of all of these, which I was super excited when they announced this one, is Captain Relden, who is Ren from Pirates of the Dark Water. He's got his little busted sword and his amulet. And he has a bird with him normally. It's a dodo in this one, it looks like, but it's usually like a big giant bird. So it says, when rolling for movement on a treasure map, roll 2 dice instead of 1. Yeah, I loved Pirates of the Dark Water. I am so happy they made a reference to that. There's one old cartoon I would definitely love to see back. It would be that one. And our last one is, if you had to guess, would be the full-on regular panda, Captain Jack Pigeon, or Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. Move 1 space, advance in the opposite direction on the treasure map. So he can be a little drunk and help himself out. So there he is, kind of stumbling on a treasure chest. He's got his booze bottle. Definitely cool. Yeah, I would love to see these. The other one is on the board was the shark. Captain Admiral Rumbro. I might be even saying that wrong. But yeah, he's like the preview they had for when this game was coming out, and they actually have a card for him in Dodo's Riding Dinos. Because he's on a shark instead. So it'd be kind of neat if they had some of these other guys were find ways to make it into the other games. Then for the other matches, if you have these, if you play at that side, if you hit the center, for Pigeon Island, you gain 2 coins. For Emu Island, gain 1 coin. For Flamingo Island, you may move +1 space on the treasure map. For Penguin Island, exchange your position on the treasure map. Swan Island, gain 1 treasure chest. And Macaw Island, when rolling the movement on the treasure map, you may reroll once. So it's very interesting because they're all bird-based. So I was wondering, it kind of goes with the whole avian trilogy theme that they had going on with all the original games. So it's kind of like now all their side games all have to do with various animals, various birds, and this should be the first one that doesn't. It'd be kind of interesting. All right, then we want to look at our puzzles. So we have turtle hopping. So you get these fun little pictures on the back, which are really cool. So if we flip them over, and again, we'll kind of go through what's all on here. So up at the top, we have turtle hopping, name of the game. The number 01 is what card number it is. This is the prediction you're going to choose for the game, so I predict who's going to win the game. The QR code, which will let you get a little video to see how the game is played. For equipment, are the main things you're going to need to play the game. So you need the map deck, so all of them shuffle together, and then 1 meeple per player. Now, if you have the miniatures, again, you could use these guys as well. Goal is the last one standing. So how to play it. Make a 6x6 grid or a 6x8 for 5+ players. Move 1 or 2 spaces. Remove your starting card. If you can't move, you're out. So basically, just going to keep eliminating guys over and over. And there's tactical movement. So what we can always do is jump into the little navigation log. And we can look at this and it's just going to do a little bit more. So form a 6x6 grid. In turn order, each player places their Panda Pirate on any occupied card that is not orthogonally or adjacent to another character. So not left, right, up, or down. In turn order, each player moves their Panda Pirates to an unoccupied orthogonal adjacent card once or twice, then removes the card where the Panda Pirate was started their turn. If you're unable to move your Panda Pirate because there are no occupied orthogonal, so again, up, down, left, right spaces, you're eliminated. You can move different directions in the same turn. Challenge: end the game with 18 or more cards in play. Become a pirate legend in the party by completing this epic challenge. Check the box. Keep track of achievements. This has no effect on the game. Should be interesting to be someone survive with a lot of them. Okay, I'm not going to go through every single one of them in this video. If that's something you guys think you'd like to see is a little bit more description on each one, I will go through and do that in a later video. But this one I kind of just want to go through all the cards. I do want to look at this though, however. So if we jump into the QR code, if my camera will focus. Come on. So you load up, you can open up the testable games, you can open up YouTube. And it's going to open up a little YouTube video showing how the game is played. Yeah, so this is kind of fun that they did this for all of them. So this guy can just show you a little bit better explanation. So take your meeple, and I have sound on, so as you can see there's nobody talking. So it does help for people that might not have to worry about trying to listen. But yeah, you're just going to place these all on these different islands. Nope, can't place them like that. How long is this video? It's a minute. So it's not too bad. So we'll just watch this one really quick. Move 1 or 2 cards. And then wherever you stop, pick up your first card. And I just pick up the 1. So it does got a little bit extra explanation on there. You can't make a move or an empty space eliminated. So you can't move anywhere, you are done. Guy got stranded. Well, there's only 1 Panda Pirate left. It's not like they're separated, so there's obviously like, oh, easy enough to be like, hey, I can tell I'm gonna win. Cool. So that's a really neat little extra thing you can do for all the games if you need to. Even if I do a second video, I won't sit there and play all that playlist. You can go find them on yourselves if you want. But I would maybe go through the book and explain each game, or maybe pull them on the table and show them myself. Alright, so we have card number 2. We have Decorate the Mast. I gotta move my camera a bit. We have too much glare on there. Alright, so Decorate the Mast. Now, bottom corner is going to say the thing. Most of them are 2 to 6 player games. This is a stacking. Use all the dice. Stack the dice without knocking any of them down. Last one standing. So each player will probably take a turn, placing 1 dice on that turtle mask till you knock it down. Confetti cannonballs. I love the artwork on this game as well. Map deck. Hold card between your fingers and throw into the box. So most cards in the wig wings. So I imagine you're probably going to tell you take an X number of certain number of cards. Because otherwise, if everyone took the entire deck, you'd be playing this game forever. Because there's like 100 cards. Give each player 8 map cards. So it does actually have... So that's something they said map deck. They could have said 8 cards per player. Which would have made more sense. Here we have... Duty Deck Duty. Some penguins. So they're visiting some of the other areas, which is also cool. So use the map deck, reveal a card, and don't get pandaed. So basically you're drawing cards from the decks, and you don't want to get the one that has a panda on the back. It's a luck game. There's nothing you can really do to be better at that one. All aboard. There's just our entire crew. Or a crew, rather. So this is just 5 dice, 4 map tiles, 1 meeple, and 4 coins per player. Place all your components or be the last one standing. On your turn, place 2 items on the ship. Don't knock anything down. So that's kind of neat. So you have to try and place all these things somehow on that turtle ship without knocking everything off. Hat stacks. So this one is going to be 4 dice per player and a stand timer. Touch as many islands as possible in 30 seconds. Lift with your pinkies. Go from island in clockwise direction. So you're going to touch the islands on the map without knocking them over by stacking 4 dice up and trying to hold them. Very interesting. Buccaneers of Bingo. So map deck and 8 tokens per player. Cover the icon showing on the card, and then bingo. So each player will get one of the cards, which this one has a bunch of starfish, some hats. This one has, the 2 treasure chests, pufferfish. So then what you'll do is someone, I'm guessing, will reveal a card. If you have the panda, you'll mark off if you have a panda card on there. So I look until, so if I had this one, I get one of my 5 pandas. So this could be a very interesting one because they're all very they're not like the same map over and over. So yeah, you're all using different boards, so very interesting. Catch Me If You Candy. Oh, so we have like little chickens and stuff in there from the other games. Because again, they're sailing around. Catch Me If You Candy says 5 dice per player. Throw 1 die and catch it. Add more dice and try again. Last one standing. So eventually see if you can catch all 5 dice. So this is interesting. It says 5 dice per player, but it tells you to put the other dice back in the box, right? I wish it would why not just keep them all out? Gift Guesser. There's a flamingo. I don't know what game he's from, but he looks interesting. 2 maps per player. If you can guess a card and take it in your hand, continue guessing. If each of you runs out of card, keep playing as long as there is another face-down card you can try and guess. Interesting. Probably guessing whatever's on the back of the cards. Golf. 2 dice per player. You only have 9 shots. You must reach the next island to gain a point. And it looks like you flick 1 die into the other to shoot it to the next hole. So you must reach each island. So very interesting. I guess if you play the one side versus the other side of the map, might be a little bit easier or harder. Scurvy Curling. So here we have 3 dice per player. From off the board, throw the dice however you wish. So you get points for each ring you land on. Pandas Up. I think one of the space pigeons, it looks like. 5 dice per player, 1 meeple. You can only touch the bottom dice. Raise your panda to the sky. Oh. So then you gotta try it with like 1 die, then 2 die, then 3. First to complete a 5 dice tower. And it's a speed game. So like you try 1 die, I get it. Try 2 dice, I get it. Very cool. You could try it with the miniatures as well, if you want a little bit more challenge. They're a little bit heavier and bulkier. Bidding Buddies. So this is one that does have a 3-player game, because you can't really bid with 2 players. So coins, bid the most coins to win the round. Matching bids are eliminated. So put some coins in your hand. See who has the most coins. Or whatever. Party Ho. The flamingos kill me. Map deck and coins. Shoot 2 Panda Pirates so they land as far from each other as possible. How many cards fit between them? Oh, so you gotta kind of guess. Cards and coins. You can be like, oh, I can closest guess without going over. Someone could guess. I'm gonna say guess 3 cards, 3 coins, and 1 small coin. So that's neat. Cake Headache. Which is some emus, possibly. Speed and stacking game. Map deck 5 per player. So place the card with the die at the same time. So you gotta stack them, but you have to have the stack them by holding the cards. That's kind of cool. Snakes in a Barrel. So that's some kiwis. 5 dice per player. If you roll a 3, that die is eliminated. Reroll as many dice, other dice as many times as you wish. So roll your dice until you get the highest amount, but if you roll a 3, you can't keep it. Interesting. Alright, number 17 is we have Marco Panda. A dodo riding a dinosaur. Map deck and 1 per player. Move from card to card to avoid getting caught. The captain will try to find you. Captain catches 2 crewmates. Crewmates don't get caught. Interesting. I kind of want to see how this one plays. I don't want to do this for all of them, because we'll be here for like 3 hours doing this, but how does this work? The captain places their pen on any grid, looks away so they can't see the grid. In turn, our other players place their pen on any unoccupied card. Okay. Captain tries to capture 2 crewmates without looking at the grid. Captain takes a turn, then each crewmate takes a turn in order. Captain's turn. Declare any number to have your player with a panda card showing that number. If you land a card occupied by one of our crewmates, okay, so you say like, oh, I'm gonna move the card spot number 2, then he moves to number 2. Okay, interesting. So that's kind of neat. So you kind of gotta move around the board that way. Pufferfish Siege. Of course, as I said, like beginning of the thing is that's a 3 to 5 player game, of course. Yeah, as you play some of these, you'll be able to just look at these and understand them more easily. So map decking 5 dice per player. Place your cards in any orientation. Shoot your die at the other player's cards however you wish. Yeah, so you gotta smack them around. These cards are gonna take some abuse, it looks like. Cooking on the High Seas. 1 map per player and then 5 dice per player. Try to move the dice using a card as a spatula. So it looks like you want to get a sequence of 1 to 5. Card number 20 here. Yo ho, Panda's life for me. There's a Dracula duck. So map deck and this card specifically. Match the sequence, add a sound. So I'm gonna guess, so like player 1 says, you know, the red card, yay, and then the next person picks red, then blue. So they yay, yo ho, and then the next person have to go yay, yo ho, ahoy, and then yay, ahoy, ahoy. So it's a matching game or memory type game. So it's very interesting. All you can feast. He has boxes on his head. Map deck and 2 cards per player. Roll the next card's number value to advance. Reach the number to win. Number 6 to win. Okay. So you're going to place cards 1 to 6 and you just have to roll 6 to be able to get there. Palm Hunt. Map, sand timer, and 4 per player. Make a tower of cards and dice. Hope it doesn't fall. Okay, so just stack them all up and then, you know, whoever probably has the highest standing structure. Hot potatoes. Hot pandacos. Rather. So this is a 3 to 6 player. So how to play. 5 dice per player, sand timer. Pass it on to the next player. Place 1 die on the ship. Oh, and then keep handing it to someone else without letting them fall off. And then the very last one is Partly Irate Pen Pals. Oh, that is a Dracula reference. Or a Castlevania. I'm not even reading all that. That's funny. Party Panda Pirates. Say it as many times as you can. I would definitely fail at this because I can't even remember what the game is called half the time. I always call it Panda Party Pirates. So that's all 24 mini games. So that is really cool and fun. So you do have the 2 expansions to go through. We're just going to jump through them in this video. So 1 sec, I'm going to grab those. Alright, so for the first mini expansion we had was a crowdfunding exclusive. This was the Tidal Towers Pirate cards. Now, they're probably going to release these extra with the Kickstarter logo, but as a rulebook, 6 cardboard tiles, and 5 new cards. But it is, again, required to play because otherwise you're not going to have any of the components for it. But what we get 6 brand new big tiles to play as, big raft tiles. They're all the same. On the other side, there's a turtle, which I don't think they use the turtle side for anything, but that is kind of cool because it's something they could potentially do in the future. But yeah, we get these big tiles which will be used, which will jump in there. We also get our extra rulebook for cards 25 to 29, so we have those. So I'm glad they didn't just release the expansion and expect you to figure these out. So we have Overboard Pandas. So this one's going to use a raft tile and 1 maple per player. Grab the raft tile, knock everyone else off the raft. So you kind of got to tip it and knock guys off. So group manipulation is what it's called. So these are a little bit more difficult or tricky ones, I guess. We have Pirate Duel. So they're battling on the backs of these turtles. So again, this could be a side we could flip it over and use the turtle side if you want. Put on your eye patch. Knock everyone out. So you gotta like bounce your guys around, knock the other person over. Who lit the fuse? One raft tile and 1 die. Pass the dice to the next player. If you drop it, you are out. Climb the crow's nest. So another tile per player, all dice. Stack the dice so they don't knock down the tower. Place your left counters as the player to your left counts the dice as you place them. So you're going to try and place all dice for all 6 characters. However you get it, you can see how you do it. And then whoever has the highest dice tower wins. Very cool. And then the very last one is Anchors Away. Anchor Sandcastle, which is fun. It uses the raft tile per player and all dice. Match the drawing. Reroll the dice as many times as you want. So why does that one need the tower? Okay, so first to complete your anchor wins. Each player takes all their 5 dice. Each player holds their raft tile in one hand and one of its edges. So now to tap conceal, each player uses their free hand to roll their dice. Place any resulting matches as shown on the card. Okay, so you're trying to match those numbers 1 through 5 on the dice, but you gotta hold it in your hand so you only get 1 hand. Okay, so that makes more sense. Again, some of these are just, you need to read the directions once, and then you kind of like, oh, I got it. Makes sense. Alright, so now we're going to hop into the next expansion that came out. A little crossover here is we have the Avian Trilogy Party Cards. So, and we get the booklet for that, for cards 30 through 38. So there's already 38 of these. So what these are going to do is be a crossover. Whoops. So 9 party cards. We have 3 for each. 1 for three for War for Chicken Island, 3 for Dodos Riding Dinosaurs, and 3 for Kiwis Chow Down. Now, these ones, not only are you required to have the base game of Panda Party, you're also required to have the sets. So newbie game clue here are based on 3 items from Creature Kingdoms. To play each mini-game, you'll need components from the respective games. Make sure you have the boxes at hand if you want to play through the Avian Archipelago. So if you want to play this special expansion, you have to have them. If you only have 1, you can just add the 3 cards. If you have all 3, you can play with all 3 of them. But just, yeah, keep in mind that you will need that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and hop into those. So we have Boom Bam. So we're going to start with War for Chicken Island stuff. So it's going to show up here as a little symbol for that, so it's kind of helpful. Just keep a reminder on that. It's just neat, because they might also do some crossovers with some of their other games at some point, too. So this does require 2 War for Chicken Island miniatures and 2 of the War for Chicken Island dice. Now, technically, you could be like, oh, I could use any miniatures from any other game I have. You're right, you probably could. But you might need those specific dice to be able to do it. Now, could you just use a regular die? Possibly, it just depends on, so it looks like you're just shooting them down with the dice. So you might be able to use other dice and other miniatures. Very possible. You know, get a 2 or 3 players, get 2 guys, 4 players, get 3 guys from different players. So use your die to move your car, push down your die to shoot it, knock your enemies off their bases. Interesting, so you gotta stack them up on there. Again, this probably be ones you're probably going to want to explain a little bit more for each one. So yeah, it actually has a little bit more on here. Each player chooses a chicken island leader and places on one of their Warfare Chicken Island dice on top of a lava tile. This will be your base. You must use 30 inches apart. Each player places a battle card and a Warfare Chicken die next to their own base. So that's why I want to use them for specific ones. And using some of the tiles. Interesting. Alright, so we have Chicken Build-A-Ton. I think it's supposed to be Build-A-Thon, but it's Build-A-Ton. A machine deck from the game. This is the one that has components for the characters and all resource tokens. Reveal a machine, get the matching resources to claim it, compete for cards. So you're going to be speed matching by grabbing different things. You're trying to match the different resources, which can be wood, log, wood, metal, and stone. No, I'm not pulling all the components right now for this. We have a rooster match. It's chickens stacked on top of each other. The chicken tokens and the Warfare Chicken Island dice. How to play. Roll up to 3 times. Feet are speed and swords are damage. Eliminate the opponent's chicken. So you want to just try and get some of the... take your top chicken and then match with your opponents. So now, I will note on lots of these cards, they'll say like 2 to 5. And that's because in the core game, there's only enough sometimes to play 5 players for the Warfare Chicken Island games. Or the Kiwi Chowdown games. So now, if you happen to pick up the 5-6 player expansions, and you have more components, you can definitely add the 6th player in there. You just might not have enough just in the base game by itself. Alright, for Dodos Riding Dinosaurs, we have a Prehistoric Circuit. So it's kind of fun there, running around there. So, use the map deck and 1 Dodo Dino per player. Complete 1 lap to win the race. If you land on someone else, they go back. So, you're going to roll dice and basically just move around the board as a race. It's very luck-based. There's not too much else to it. This could be something where you might be able to use the map for that one of those games instead of placing these cards down. Or you might be able to use their abilities. There's always probably little things like that you can add in there. Rolls dice to advance your Dodo's Riding Dinosaur and advance your Dodo Riding Dinosaur die and advance your dino restricted by that many cards. If your movement ends on a card, they must move back to. Yeah, it's a very interesting. Yeah, so you just move them around the board. It's a different way to play that. And they'll have the little symbol up there for those. We have Projectile Palooza. So you can use all the little projectiles from the game. All projectiles and 1 racer. Throw all the projectiles at the dino. The most hits wins. So you have to throw them in the way that they need to be used. So like 1 has to flick, 1 has to roll. And what's also fun about this, because as I add more expansions, they'll sometimes add new projectiles as well. So you can use those as well. I know like the first race is adding a new one. Don't get Argo or aggro. So here, we are going to use the movement deck and coins. Pick a card, get coins according to the color. So you want the least aggressive card is going to get you, the more aggressive card is going to get you most color, or most coins. But I'm sure if you match them, then you get nothing. It probably kind of works the same way the game does. What's really fun about the way these add in here is it's not just, take the miniature from the game and use just the miniature in place of a meeple or something. Like, right, they're letting you use the machine deck, the movement deck, using the projectiles, using different tiles and stuff. So I think it's really fun that they're incorporating all of the elements of the game and not just use the miniatures. And then for Kiwi Chowdown, we have Total Dominion. So this would be the same type of thing. Use the Dominion token bag and 1 island per player. Draw 3 tokens and place them on matching hexes. If they don't match, they go back in the bag. So you're trying to match them up. Have a token on every hex on your island. So yeah, again, this says 2 to 4 players. If you have the 5-6 player expansion, definitely all 6 players can play. But again, they're only putting down core stuff instead of expecting to also buy an additional expansion. Here we have Kiwi Karoom. Is that panda dead? down there. We have 7 kiwi tokens and 1 island tile. Flip your kiwi to the off to knock the others off, so you got kind of like bowl for them, but don't fall off the island. So yeah, it's kind of neat. You can use multiple colors for that. And then the very last one is we have Island Rumble, which will be, this one uses a lot of stuff. So each, you have 4 island tiles and 8 Dominion tokens, 2 per type. And then per player, each game gets a kiwi leader and 6 kiwi tokens. Move your leader to push kiwis and get the most kiwis to mark your territory. So you're kind of trying to move around and take over the board. Tactical movement and area control. So very, very cool. Alright, so then the last thing I want to look at is just storage. So I want to look up the, so they have your tiles can go on here on top of your things if you have the deluxe board. Assuming you bought the deluxe game and you got all the expansions, they had room for it. You got the base game and you had some of them, they might not fit in as well, but you can find a way. I guess the ship does come into 2 pieces. It looks like you can pop it apart. I'm not going to force mine apart because it might not be designed that way for each one, but the regular version of the game actually has it in 2 pieces, so it can be a little bit, lay down a little bit flatter. In the center, what they recommend is putting all your stuff in here, your tokens, your meeples, your coins, all that, and just leave them in the baggies. I personally hate leaving stuff in baggies and having to keep pulling baggies out and dumping stuff in and out of them. So I'll show you what I did, but that's what they have you doing. But the idea is supposed to have room for more expansions. Then we have this spot right here, which is where all the treasure chest tokens go. If you have them, again, this one. All our extra books here. So we have our expansions and our extra books that you can all just lay in there. And then we have all of our party games here and our tokens, or our tiles. Now, they do have sleeves for these that you can purchase, which I did not purchase any of those. I don't have any. Oops, I'm running into other stuff I have. I don't currently have any sleeves. I don't have any sleeves I didn't buy for this, but I have sleeves that'll probably work for these. But then they also have sleeves for the bigger pirate games as well. So you can go ahead and sleeve them. Now, why do you want to sleeve these, or do you need to? You actually don't ever probably need to sleeve these, but they do still fit in there. I just wanted to show that off. Although there is a little bit of room in here, so once they get sleeved, they'll probably be right to the top. Might even have to put a couple over here. And I'm not going to sleeve them all right now to show that off. I just wanted to mention that. But why would you ever want to sleeve these? Would just basically because it's a party game. Again, people have the upgraded tokens. People are touching them a lot. These do have to get shuffled together so you can decide which one you want. Which is also why I probably want to shuffle the map tokens. The only issue might be shuffling some of the map tokens. There are a couple of games that involve you having to stack them or use them as like holding things. And having them sleeved might make them a little bit too slick for that. So that might just be something you have to kind of play around with. You might have to unsleeve a card for some of those games. But that is what we have. Oh, we gotta show off the rest of the storage. So then on the top of the box, we had these extra holders on the side, which they said are for future expansions. So I know there's another one coming out. You're supposed to be able to then just store everything in this box. I'm not sure how it's going to work because there's a bigger giant board on here. Unless that's just 100% replacing this one, which may be, or replacing that, not a new board here, it's a new treasure board. But it might just be replacing that, but I wouldn't know why you'd want to. I think you got options for both. So I did was, I throw all my dice in here, threw my meeples on one side, put all my coins. I figure that's something you can kind of then, like, after you're done, put this back on there, have this off to the side if you need to grab these, they're available for everybody. Although with myself and with all my other games, I'll probably end up repurposing it into another storage bin and just using the box for like the tiles and stuff, and the cards to do something different with. But that's what I do. But that is what we have for Party Panda Pirates. I'd already lose that tongue twister game. Hope you guys enjoyed this. As the next games come out and the other in the series come out, I will definitely show off more stuff. Again, if you guys would like to see videos, like a little bit more explanation showing off the book on each different party game, let me know. I can do a video for that. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.